What's happening, everyone? Uh, Welcome back to Nana's SMMA. I know it's been a long time. It was actually, I'm guessing, like 8 months ago, if I can remember correctly, that I posted up my last video. Um, well, I've got some good news, and the good news is that yesterday I signed my first client. That's right, I signed my first client. So, as I'm sure you're aware, in June last year, if you've been following me, um, last year I quit my job and decided to go full time with my agency. Now, between now, which is March, and June, it's been a lot of ups and downs, as I'm sure you can imagine. It's been challenging because I know the reason I quit my job was to be able to provide for my family and to be able to take take us to the next place of our lives. So when I actually first quit, as you'll see from the video, which is before this one, like I was so determined. I was, making cold calls, reaching out, doing everything I had done. So that was basically like the momentum that I had at that time. But as you know, when you don't sign a client, after some time, you can kind of lose momentum or slow down. So at a point, I was literally so down and discouraged and had pretty much given up, because it's like I don't have a client, I don't have any hope of getting a client. And I think that was where the issue was. I think it was a mindset thing. So I decided in December to give it another go, but to go full force. So it was really the end of December, early January, that I decided no matter what, I'm not going to stop. So for November, I sort of worked on myself. I started from November, and maybe just before November, I started, dealing more with mindset, because I had tried to do the other things, the practicals, but I had not really worked on mindset. And I think that that's where it really started from. And I started reading books like Think and Grow Rich, books like this book over here, Miracle Morning, books like, Psycho Cybernetics, which all really help with the mindset part of entrepreneurship. And one thing I say about entrepreneurship, or the journey that I can see it's taken me on, and I'm sure those of you who are entrepreneurs would agree, is that you start to not only develop your agency slash business, or whatever it is, you start to also develop yourself. Especially when you devote yourself to it, you start to see that it's not just an entrepreneurship journey, it's more of a personal development journey. So you discover that when you actually start taking things seriously to a point, you're going to start seeing more results in your personal life, more discipline in your personal life, more determination in your personal life. So I started writing out goals. I had taken, like I said before, some courses, but now it was time to double down on my mindset. So I literally, the month of November was a very, very crucial month for me. I spent a lot of time doing what Sam Ovens calls the alchemy of self. Oh my days, that took me to another level. And so November, December, I was really doubling down. And it's just a matter of what I mean by that is like, and I'll probably do another video about that, but waking up early, reading books, making affirmations, saying affirmations over your future and your business and your life. Visualization. I've created a vision board and stuff like that, just to get my mindset right. Because no matter what skill set you've got, if your mindset isn't right, it's only a matter of time before you literally like fall away. You can have all the skill set, you can know everything about Facebook ads, everything about Google or YouTube or Instagram, but if you don't have the right mindset, eventually you'll give up. But when you do have the right mindset, you're going to press in. So that's basically what I did. So from January, I began outreaching properly again. It took some time to go from no outreach to pick the momentum, but come February, I had picked up momentum. Now, early March, I've signed my client. So really and truly, I could have signed my client back last year if I had done this part first. Do you see? So for those of you who are thinking, oh, like I've been doing this for a long time, and work on your mindset, start reading books, start, developing yourself as a all-round person, you're going to discover that what's going to happen is eventually you're going to break through to a point where you tell yourself, no matter what happens, I will not stop. And I got to that point after I had worked on my mindset where I said to myself, no matter what happens, I am not going to stop outreaching. I remember there were some days I would literally like go onto Google and just type in a niche, let's say dentist, and every company that comes up, I said I am going to reach out to every single company on Google, or like gyms, and every single gym that comes up, I'm going to reach out to them. So it's like, not to say I did, but that's the mindset I sort of had. Cold calls, I noticed that I wasn't really comfortable doing them. Sometimes you just have your preference. But I would do Loom videos, I would do DMs, I would do emails, I would do the odd cold call here and there, but not so much with cold calls. I just said, I'm going to reach out to them and I'm going to just find whatever I can to get myself my first client. And I did. And that's what's spoken about in this book, on the chapter on determination. And the author, sorry, my nose is itching. The author's, his name is Napoleon Hill. He's basically talking about when you set yourself a goal and decide that you're going to get that goal with such and such a date, you say it, you write it down, you manifest it in visualization, you'll get it. And that's what I did. I got it, you see. I had actually told myself, if I don't get a client by mid-April, which is next month. When did I say that? I said that 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I said, I said it to my wife, if I do not get a client by mid-April, I'm going to go back to full-time work. But I said to her, I will definitely get a client. And the day I said I will definitely get a client is the day I got good news. Not to say I signed the client that day, but that's the day that they started expressing interest in what I was offering. So there's something about mindset, belief, faith that really ties into your journey here. So I want to encourage you, wherever you are on your journey, especially those who haven't got a client as yet. I was that guy who was saying to myself, maybe it's not for me. Maybe I'm not the type of person that can actually, maybe this won't work for me. That was my mindset. Anytime I would go on, the groups, the Tai Lopez Facebook group or any other group on Facebook or, social media, and I would see people landing their first clients, part of me was like, would I ever be able to post up something like that? And another part of me was like, let me also celebrate them, because that's a landmark in their life and in their journey. So I did that. I would always click like and then drop a congratulations comment, because I knew that my time would come, and so it did. So I also posted up my one just to encourage people to say that, listen, I've given up everything to be able to get my goals and achieve my goals. So if there are those of you who are discouraged about, not having what you've been dreaming of, you'll get there. So long story short, it's a cosmetic dentist, and it's 1K per month plus ad spend, and I'm happy because I know that this is the beginning of great things. So already, because of the skill set that I've developed from courses like Iman Gadzhi's and Tai Lopez and every other stuff, I'm deciding to build systems already. So I'm looking at not just splashing the money, splashing the cash, but deciding to reinvest the money back into my business. So I'm looking at outsourcing the ads. I'm looking at probably hiring a VA to help with outreach, so I can already get the ball rolling for my next client. Because a lot of people lose momentum after they celebrate their first victory. But I remember Sam Oven saying, when you get your first client, don't stop. Go on for the next one. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm hoping that you guys will actually witness me go from ground zero to building a 6-figure agency, which is, my goal for this year. So join me on this journey, share it with whoever's maybe on the journey with you, or maybe experiencing some kind of discouragement. And if you feel like you've not been able to hit your goals, but this video has inspired you, please do let me know beneath, so that I can keep on posting videos like this to encourage people like you. When you one day look at the video, and this is a message for people who may look at this years from now, a couple of years from now, and see me maybe at a completely different level with a better quality camera and better, you know, setting in the house and a nice. What I would do is I would always scroll down to the early days of the SMMA generals, you know, and just look at where they started to encourage myself. So if there's someone like this a couple of years from now, a year or two from now, and you've scrolled down to look at where I started from, this is for you to show you that this is where it began and you can reach your goals. So thank you very much for watching. I'm going to wrap this video up. Please like this video. Please subscribe. Please also drop a comment. Let me know what you thought. And hopefully we'll see you very soon. God bless.